Back everybody to George's Dial. Not really much to update on any projects. I actually just started working on the powder coating of it again. I don't know if you remember, we had it in two pieces, and I did this box, the control box with the timer control and temperature timer. I have since, let's take this apart here. I have since started putting it all together. There's a bunch of crap in here, a bunch of parts I'm going to be using. So, anyway, I've since started putting it together. Both sides are screwed in, and then I started patching up the sides inside, filling in the leftover insulation that was with it originally, and then putting high temperature gasket sealant. It's right here actually. It's the JV Weld high temp red. It's good to 650 degrees is what it claims. It's Permatex stuff, the same thing. They just didn't have two of them at the stores. There you go. Resist up to 650 degrees Fahrenheit intermittent. So I'm going to cut that last piece back there, get a measurement, cut it. Actually have a piece of aluminum sitting over there that I'm going to be cutting up, and my Dumas went to the store and got grinding wheels, and I thought I grabbed the aluminum, but instead I grabbed the pack of just regular metal cut-off wheels. So nothing special, some Harbor Freight cheap ones, just because I'm going to burn through them with this thick aluminum. It's actually I believe 1/8 inch, so should withstand the heat with the insulation behind it. I'm gonna try and reuse the lights that were in here. There's one up there and the bottom oven, since these were cut out. This was the one tub, this was the second tub. And then I'm gonna replace that thermostat with the one that is for the temperature controller itself. It was part of a package gig, I guess, from Amazon. But anyway, and then I'm gonna try and figure out, there's the broiling pan that was in here originally for the gas oven. This was the original vent hole. I made a little piece to fill it in. Actually, it's on this piece right here. Let's make some noise. There we go. It's that piece right there. I was just gonna flip it out real quick. I'll just take that out either way. And then this little piece right here, actually this attaches to it. This little ductwork thing. I think it's for the gas, it's where the gas tubes were for the broiler. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to somehow work with this, and that's why I pulled this side panel off again and pulled the insulation out that I just redid. It goes in there, and I was thinking of opening it all the way up and going to the bottom. So the bottom pan that's down there, I would just have it cycle from up here, go down and around, just leave this tray on so I don't blow on the heating element itself. Let's see here. I know I got a lot of stuff, but I'm trying to get something done. This is the heating element. I'm just gonna blow 2 holes to the back over there and send it through. So you hook up one side of your hot to the other side. It's got a little fancy plate. I'll put a gasket on it. I can post a link on Amazon. But anyway. So yeah, I was gonna put the this little ductwork thing here and make them fit together, because there's not one that's different. They're both identical. I'll just make a male and female in for it, gasket it up. So anyway, the fan will blow down to the bottom and just circulate the cold air up to the hot. I don't want a hot spot. And what I'm going to be powder coating, and I think what the first thing I'm going to do is re-chrome my bike here. When I first got it, I thought it was Mr. Cool riding any time of the season with the snow and the salt and the rain. And as you can see, it's got rust pitting on the chrome, the chroming here. Mostly happens from, when get salt on it and just let it sit instead of wiping it off. Unbeknownst to me, I did not know that. I just thought, hey, it's a Harley, it's made for anything, blah blah blah. But get older and wiser. So here's a few pieces I want to do. I got the chroming. I already have the powder. I bought the powder and the gun and all that stuff. And we'll go over that in another video after I finish this up, of course. I think I'm going to do a separate video on this bike. I've done a lot to it in the past few months, buying parts wise and painting a few little things on it. But that's for another day. So back to this. I'll set the camera up to use my workbench right here and cut that piece right there with a grinder. So yeah, here we go. Alright, I just want to clarify something. I didn't really explain what I was going to be doing. So anyway, I cut this panel right. I know it's probably looked really rough and it didn't look really safe, but at least wear your safety goggles and some gloves. And get the right grinding bits. But anyway, I'm not too worried about these burrs. I'll just take a little knife and just rip them off once I'm done putting this in here. If the parts hit up against it, I mean, it's my fault for swinging them around. But anyway, I used just one of the pre-drilled holes that were on there, finished the hole, and then I'm riveting it. So I'm using this, one of my bits here, and I'm using a little packet right here, 3/16 by 1/2 inch aluminum rivets. And then once I did that, I'm going to drill the rest of the holes. I'll probably put like at least another, I don't know, 11 more in probably. And then before I rivet them all in, I'll put the RTV in it. And then this part of it will be done for now. And then I'll put a bead like I did that all around it, so I'm not too worried. What I was hitting on right there, I was trying to get the piece out of the way of that light. I took a little piece of glass out, like that one there, so I wouldn't break it. And yeah, so I'm gonna get this done right here. I gotta make a few more little pieces. That's why I'm trying to keep the angle of that piece of aluminum over there. Slap that in there, slap that in here. And I have to do something with this since I didn't think about it. I cut this brace out right here. But yeah, moving along. It's probably going to drive some of you nuts, but they're not even. They're not parallel. There's some that are, whoa, that one dips. Whoa, there's a couple there. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, it's going to get, I'm going to powder coat the whole thing black anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Just thought I'd point that out and bug some of you OCD people. Alright, so now, let's see if I can get some light on my face here so you can see me. Ugh. Anyway, so now I'm going to go ahead and seal it up, RTV sealant, and then I'm going to work on that heating element that I was talking about and put that on the bottom and start wiring it up on the back side. Not entirely sure. I have some old electrical cord. No, I can't do that. The gauge isn't big enough. I have some thicker stuff I can use. Thicker electrical cord that'll be big enough for it. But I'm gonna start just wire it up out the back, and then start putting some of the siding pieces on the back of it, so I can just be done with that. The control box, if I remember correctly, has all the knockout holes there. So I'll start just getting everything in extra pieces and whatnot, and feeding it up through the back side. I'm gonna put another layer. There's this layer here, and then I want to put more. I want to put another layer over it as well, just so there's an air gap and I don't have to worry about if it gets hot on the side. It'll be like an air gap, so you can actually touch the oven without getting burned. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick, and I'll give you an update in a minute. All right, try this one more time. This camera's giving me problems again with the memory card. Same thing, locking up, or saying it's there's a problem with saving the memory, execute, blah blah blah, whatever. Anyway, I kind of got in the motion of, oh, too close to my face here. I kind of got in the motion of just getting this thing wired up after I finished that back plate, and we'll go over it real quick, and I'll show you what I did here. So anyway. That back plate went on fine, as you saw. Riveted it and threw in the high temp silicone. I put in the heating element right there. Just kind of lined it up, made a scribble with a marker, drilled 2 holes, drilled the holes for the holder, and riveted it on there. And it just kind of rests. It's got little feet, you can see right there. Little foot there, and I just left that panel on the bottom. I'm thinking I'm just gonna leave it right now, and I'll figure out a fan for later. I'm just gonna take some leftover insulation from one of the hardware stores and just stuff it, or maybe take some out of this. And you can see down there, those are the 2 contacts for it. All right, and remember that box? Well, here's the mess I got. It's kind of messy at this moment because I had to pull everything apart. You wouldn't believe what happened. We'll go over that in a second. But I got everything wired. I didn't get the right spades sizes for these little wires. These are, I believe, 18 gauge wire to go to here for each switch. And the other ones that I had, these garbage ones, if you remember from a previous video, that these chintzy little tabs they all broke the little tab in here when, sorry, it's so close. Paying attention to the item instead of the camera here. Anyway, come on, focus, there we go. These little tabs, 3 out of 4 of them, they all stripped when I was tightening them down, which was weird because I was holding the back and tightening this nut here. But anyway, these are the replacements, and I wasn't paying attention when I got them. They have the spade bit on them. I actually bought the little red ones of these, the eyelids. So anyway, all the neutral, I wired up all the neutral wires. All these lights are 120 volt lights, and same thing with these 2 alarms here. So all 4 of these, or all 6 of these items, are all 120. I lit it up, and this alarm actually does light up and sound. Haven't tested these, obviously, because I don't have any switches hooked up to them. And then I took one of the other switches that I found here in the garage, and I put eyelids on it just for a switch for power, because I plugged it in. Everything was working fine, but the timer started right away, and I didn't really want that to happen. I wanted to go on, but start when the temperature sensor here, this Auburn PID solid state oh man, why am I having a hard time with this? Solid state relay, that one. This is the controller for that, to control the heating element, which goes on here and here through its little 12 volt. We'll go more into detail when I get all the parts back for this. But anyway, so I wired this all up, and all the hots. I got all the hots wired for this. I had the thermocoupler all pretty, and I decided I was going to hook up this common hot for the temperature controller here. And these are both alarm settings, so I was going to have this one go to an alarm when it reaches a certain temperature, and then I'm going to set this alarm wiring to turn this common on the timer on, so it will then signal, it'll then start the time on it for one, and then two, it will, once the timer goes on and it reaches its 400 degrees in 20 minutes after this is done, it'll set off the alarm for the timer itself. If that makes sense. If it's not, I'll try and describe it in a different video. Anyway, I hooked up the terminals here. I did a straight hot in the first place, so I plugged it in and went on just to test everything out. Everything went fine. The problem was when I went and cut the hot and put it on its own switch and then ran a hot to the terminal block here. The thermocoupler wiring, if I still have a piece of it here. Here you are. What's going on, little guy? Yeah, it's got a metallic, like, stainless steel braid on it. This will focus for you. It's got a stainless steel braid on it, and what had happened was, when I flipped this switch on, right here, the only one that I had to mount sideways because I was fearing that it was going to make contact with the little ledge down here, and of course it didn't, but I just did it so I wouldn't let anything on fire. But of course, it ran across the hots here. You see this nice char mark? Yeah, well, yeah, let's just say it caught fire. So, that's great. I usually carry stuff, extras of things, but this time I did not. I wasn't thinking that, being an electrician, that I'm going to light anything on fire while hooking it up. Silly me. So yeah, I gotta wait till this coming Sunday here, which is 2 days away now, for a new thermocoupler to come in. Goes right here, positive, negative. And we'll go from there. But other than that, I also ordered these door latches. And what they'll do is they'll mount here, and once I build a little, what I was talking about, that air gap, and then putting another exterior wall on this thing, it will tighten this up and close it. I also bought more oven gasket, so I can put in between here and fill this gap. It's about 1/8 of an inch. And then I was looking, and these brackets right here are just 2 screws, one down here and one up here, that hold them into place. And I can put some washers behind them, in between the bracket and the frame, to suck this in a little farther and keep the door closer, so it can be a tighter fit, less air gap. But anyway, these latches, they'll attach here and attach to the piece itself, and I'll reinforce a little more on this side because this is a thicker piece of metal here, and they'll just they'll clamp it closed tighter. So my idea is to more use the top half of this, where I can hang the stuff in here on the racks, and then kind of keep this closed. I know it's kind of silly seeing that, this is the hotter section of it, and I'll be the colder, but and this will let the heat out once I open this door, but nonetheless it'll still work the way I want it to. I also have to hook up, I'm planning on hooking one of these two, or this one for the lights. I'm just going to have one switch for it. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with these switches yet. Maybe this one could be a future fan, and I don't know, make this a dummy light, or maybe I'll hook it, I don't know, I haven't figured out. I just put 4 switches on there just so I have them, but I can throw it on real quick. I will unhook this wire, which is the alarm, and show you what it looks like. Actually do that right now. Let's see, one-handed, okay, there we go. Like that. That's off. Not going to cause any fires. And then we're going to lose a little bit of light here, seeing as my trouble light is currently plugged in, and I don't have another power source at the moment. So, without further ado, make sure that's off. Sorry, I'm trying to plug this thing in real quick and hold the camera. Alright, here we go. Alright, ready? Hopefully there's no flame on this one. I'm not going to edit it if it does, just so you know that normal people do screw up. So anyway, this is what I was talking about with the timer, how it starts right away, and it will go off an alarm at 99 seconds. This thing's tweaking out either because I fried something internally, or it just doesn't sense the thermocoupling. So hopefully, it's just the thermocoupling that's not hooked up, and I'll have to buy another $75 unit or however much this was. I might just buy one just to have a safe, or just to have a spare one. But that's it for now, and I can actually show you the alarm's actually going off right now. Yeah, see? Kind of annoying. But I did the same thing for this alarm here, and this, since this is giving it power, it's a common and it's normally open. When this gives it power and this goes off, it'll switch it and the alarm will go off. Oh, should we wait the extra 30 seconds? I think we should. Can you suffer that long with me? Oh man, the suspense is killing me. I might just edit all this out. Maybe not. Make you watch for it. Oh, another pointer. Yeah, I ordered a new box as well, just because the lack of room that I have a feeling that this is going to be way too close to that hot terminal, and this one sticks out farther, and yeah, so we'll see. I'm too afraid to close her up. Okay, so the alarm didn't go off on that, probably because it has to be on the top part right here. So, alright, no big deal. But anyway, that's it for now. That off. I will keep you updated with when I get more parts for now. Anyway, that is going to do it for this video. If you liked what you saw, if you didn't like what you saw, if you think the next guy will like what you saw, just like it, subscribe to it. I know I haven't been around, but like I said, I've been busy. Life goes on. More videos to come. I will try to get more out for you and keep you updated on what's going on with this. And then we'll move on to more projects. Summer's coming, and of course it's snowing tomorrow here in Chicagoland. But fear not, I will continue on and try and get more content for everybody. So, see you later. Bye. Still recording? This is still recording. Why is this recording? Hello? Bye.